Barack Obama has candidly acknowledged that he used drugs and did some drinking when he was in high school. He explains why in his book, saying it was, quote, to push the questions of who I was out of my mind. In 1979, still a teenager, Obama left Hawaii to attend Occidental College in Los Angeles, where that interior struggle he talked about continued. It was a confused time in his life, but also a transitional period because it was there that Obama's interest in public service and his knack for delivering a speech started to take root. Again, dreams from my father.
I noticed that people had begun to listen to my opinions. It was a discovery that made me hungry for words. Not words to hide behind, but words that could carry a message, support an idea.
After 2 years, Obama transferred to Columbia University in New York, where he studied political science. It was at Columbia that he started to come to terms with who he was and what he wanted to do with his life. He stopped using drugs, as he later wrote in his book, and started to focus on his studies. When he graduated in 1983, Obama stood at a crossroads. He was drawn to community work, but decided to take a job as a research analyst at a consulting firm in New York.
It was a job to put bread on the table. He viewed the job as sort of biding time until he could do what he wanted to do, which is find out how to move people on a grassroots level.
Then destiny came calling in the form of a newspaper ad for a community organizer in Chicago.
So I arranged for a face-to-face interview, and we spent 2 hours talking to one another. He just wanted to learn. He was very hungry to learn.
Obama got the job. He packed his bags and headed to Chicago, not knowing what was ahead, but somehow feeling certain he was now moving in the right direction. In 1985, Barack Obama left New York and a lucrative corporate position to take a job as a community organizer on Chicago's South Side. He coordinated church groups and neighborhood associations, helping them lobby for basic services and amenities. Jerry Kellman was running the organization.
Barack had opportunities to take a job that would have much more status and much more of a future. So why would he be willing to work for $10,000 a year to come to a city where he had never lived before and work with the poor? He had to have some strong motivation to do that.
At age 24, Obama went to work in a sprawling housing project called Altgeld Gardens.
You were isolated geographically, socially, politically, and in that sense, it was a very devastated place.
While Kellman was relieved to have found an African American to work with the community, Obama was still regarded as an outsider.
Just his presence would be upsetting to some local politician who had been able to call all the shots, and so we weren't grateful to have him there. So Barak was frequently getting criticized and attacked, and often he would come back to the office and vent some frustration.
The locals were initially skeptical that the skinny kid with the funny name could help them find jobs or even get basic services for the community. Obama organized a delegation to meet with State Senator Emil Jones to talk about the problem of teenage dropouts.
He was with some ministers in the area, and they were organizing to bring about protests to put pressure on the public officials to do something about school dropouts.
Jones was receptive to Obama's proposals and immediately hit it off with the young activist.
He was genuinely sincere. We became good friends while we were working together. As a result of those efforts, we were able to go to the State Board of Education, get funding for dropout programs.
But over the next 3 years, there weren't that many victories for the young organizer. The sheer scale of the problems on Chicago's South Side was overwhelming, and Obama came to the conclusion he would have to find another way to help. He decided to go to law school at Harvard. Obama thought that becoming a lawyer would be useful. He'd started thinking about running for office, some position where he could have a greater impact on public policy. He did well in law school, working hard and playing hoops to unwind.
He loved to smile, and he really smiled when he'd, give his little fake and put up a jump shot and hit it, over you.
While studying at Harvard, Obama continued to spend time in Chicago, and while working at a law firm there one summer, he met a young lawyer named Michelle Robinson.
He took me to one of his community organizing trainings on the South Side. It was a basement full of senior citizens, mostly African American. He took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves and just launched into the most eloquent, passionate vision of the community and why people need to engage, and people just connected with him in the ways that they do now.
He had a hole in his shoe, had a car that was 1,000 years old, that barely worked. He was someone who was consumed with the world of ideas. And Michelle was a great counterweight to that. She's very, very pragmatic. You know, she's someone who will say, okay, the balloon has floated high enough. And she is that anchor for him.
Back at law school in 1990, Obama was elected president of the Harvard Law Review, the most prestigious legal journal in the country, becoming the first African American ever to hold the position.
Word got out that he was elected president of the Harvard Law Review. There was a palpable excitement among the entire student body that we were making history.
Attaining such a high-profile position opened a lot of doors for Barack Obama. It gave him what amounted to a ticket to establishment success, but he had other ideas.
He could have had any job in America. He could have clerked for any judge on the Supreme Court. He could have had the most prestigious professorship in the country. He could have gone to the top law firm and made a princely sum of money. And he again went back to Chicago and set down his roots and built on the base that he had created when he was a community organizer after college.
Came back to work on voter registration. I guess he liked Chicago. I never knew at that time that he did have in the back of his mind getting involved more politically as an elected official.
Obama started to practice civil rights law, started teaching at the University of Chicago. During that time, he remained active in the community, but there was more to Obama than resume building. Around this same time, he was getting settled in his personal life. He and Michelle married in 1992 at the Trinity United Church of Christ, a South Side congregation known for its social activism. Obama found a spiritual home there. 3 years later, when he was still in his early 30s, Obama's mother died of ovarian cancer. Her death came just a month after the publication of Obama's deeply felt and very personal memoir, Dreams from My Father, in which he writes about his life and his unusual family background.
It's a book very much about identity. And the amazing thing about the book is I think it captures one of the things that's extraordinary about him, which is he really is a confluence of a lot of different strains of the American identity all in one person.
The following year, in 1996, Obama launched his political career, running for state senator in the South Side district of Hyde Park. The extensive grassroots network he had built in Chicago over the past 11 years proved to be invaluable. Obama won by a substantial margin, but some of his Democratic opponents claimed that he'd won by playing hardball, going to court to challenge the signatures of supporters they needed to enter the primary.
It did ruffle some feathers among established Democrats in Chicago.
The tactic was standard operating procedure in Chicago politics, but some saw it as proof that Obama was in a big hurry to climb the political ladder.
You know, he's 175 pounds of ambition, there's no doubt about that.
And that ambition made Obama a force to be reckoned with in Illinois and later on the national stage.
Raise your right hand.
In January 1997, after winning a cutthroat campaign, 35-year-old Barack Obama was sworn in as an Illinois state senator.
Congratulations.
In Springfield, the state capital, his political career started to take off, but not everyone was cheering him on.
Senator Obama to close.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Let me just respond in order.
He certainly engendered some jealousies among his colleagues, particularly some of his African American colleagues,
Motion filed by Senator Obama.
who thought, who is this guy from Harvard